LMD Magazine and EFM present Biz Talk, taking an in-depth look at today's biz landscape.
Welcome to another edition of LMD EFM Biz Talk. Today we're speaking to the Director and CEO of Guardian Asset Management, Rupini Fernando. Good morning, Mrs. Fernando, and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning.
First of all, can you give us an overview of the current investment climate in Sri Lanka?
Currently, the investment climate, if you look at it from different angles, would have both positives and negatives. So when you refer to the broader investment climate, we look at capital markets as well as other investment opportunities available to investors. Capital markets wise, you'll see that interest rates have been rising. So there have been new opportunities for investors, like lots of debenture issues which came up in recent times at very good interest rates, and you see investor interest in those has been extensive. Where the stock market is concerned, actually the stock market has been quite subdued because there's a lot of uncertainty both globally as well as regionally and even within the domestic economy. So the stock market has been subdued. But at the same time, when you look at the long term, the stock market probably at this point of time when it's down offers more attractive investment opportunities, because a good company is always a good buy. And particularly when markets are down, you can buy good company shares at very attractive prices. Elsewhere in the economy, investment opportunities are also they are in different asset categories. It's not just in the financial instruments, but in real estate, for instance, you see a lot of investor interest in apartments, housing projects, other commercial properties. So you see a lot of construction activity happening and investment opportunities in the real estate sector. So I would say it's mixed, but it's always vibrant because there are different types of opportunities that come for investors.
How has the Bourse fared under current macroeconomic conditions?
As I mentioned earlier, the Bourse has not really been a good performer in recent times. There are several reasons for that. One is that globally also there has been a lot of volatility with so many different things happening. Brexit, for instance, has refocused investor interest back into emerging markets like Sri Lanka. Then at the same time, the US Fed rate hike, US interest rate hike, made a lot of capital go back from emerging markets back into the US. So there was volatility overall, internationally and regionally. At the same time, in Sri Lanka also we went through a change of policy, a change of taxation, and other changes in the economy and the economic structure. So there was a period of volatility and settling down. As long as domestically, I think if the policy framework is clear, we should see the Bourse performing well in future, but it has had a setback in the last couple of months.
As a nation, are Sri Lankans enthusiastic about investments or saving for investments?
We should now start making a distinction between saving and investment. Traditionally, we all think of we must save, and that means putting something aside from your income or your assets for a future need, right? And that's a good thing, but that's more like putting something away and keeping it safe for a future need. But when you talk about investments, we're actually focusing on what can you generate out of that money or assets that you put away. So we have to now start focusing on investments where what we have saved has to be productively invested, giving a good rate of return. Because what we are trying to do as individuals is we have to maintain our lifestyle or improve our lifestyle and improve our purchasing power. And there's inflation in the economy. So if you focus on investing and earning a good rate of return, then you know that your purchasing power, your lifestyle and your spending power will keep on increasing. So which is the reason why we have to shift from mere savings to investing.
What are the best investment options for Sri Lankans at this point in time?
Right now, as I mentioned earlier, at this point of time, we see interest rates are on a rising trend. That's because the domestic economy has a lot of debt. The government has commitments, and there's also economic activity where capital is required. So interest rates are on a rising trend. And therefore you see that different instruments which have interest bearing characteristics like debentures and so on have become very popular. At the same time, we see new products like they're not new, they have been around but becoming more popular, products like unit trust. Now unit trust investments are pooled investment vehicles where people can, just like a bank account or very similar to a bank account, people can go and invest a part of their savings, generate a return, and when they want to take the money out, they have the flexibility of taking the money out from the investment plan. So unit trusts have also now become a little more popular and more widespread. So currently interest bearing instruments are showing better returns. But also, as I mentioned, the stock market, the equity market is a very good long-term prospect, because at the moment it's not performing very attractively, but at the same time what you want to do in the stock market is to buy shares with good value. And there are excellent companies, banks, manufacturing companies, trading companies which are trading at very attractive values, which you can buy for long-term gain.
In your opinion, has enough awareness been created amongst the general public regarding available investment opportunities in the country?
No, I think that is actually a sad fact of life in Sri Lanka, is that people are very used to depositing their money in a bank or at the most in a finance company, and that also they are not able to actually, when it comes to a finance company, be discerning about their selection, because they take a lot of risk and sometimes finance companies have failed. The newer investment opportunities that are available like unit trust unfortunately have not become popular because due to lack of awareness. Now there's a reason for that. The unit trust industry operates on very small fee income. So what we do is when an investor comes and places money in our unit trust, we charge a very nominal fee, less than 1%. Now a bank, for instance, can do a lot of publicity and spend a lot on marketing, because they may take a current account from you, money into a current account which pays you nothing, or a savings account which pays you a very low level of interest, and they lend it out at a very high rate. So they enjoy very high margins which they can use to like create awareness and education, and that's why bank deposits are traditionally the very popular form of investment. But industries like this need support of media institutions, regulatory authorities and other interest groups to create greater awareness, because they charge only very low fees from the investor but give them a wider opportunity or a set of opportunities to invest in.
And finally, what do you forecast for the future of this sector?
This sector is, I think, at a very infant stage in Sri Lanka. Capital market investments, diversification of investment opportunities away from banks and traditional financial investments is taking place. Awareness creation is the biggest challenge. So I think there's a lot of potential in more developed markets. I mean, you don't really have to look at Western markets, but even if you look at countries like India and Malaysia, you do find this type of collective investment schemes like mutual funds, unit trusts are very popular in those countries. As well as going forward, I think we'll have newer financial instruments like real estate investment funds, for example, coming up in Sri Lanka. Now that gives the ability for people to invest in real estate but via a pooled investment vehicle. So lots of new exciting opportunities are likely to arise as our capital markets develop, and those are good things because they offer diversity to investors, but under the guidance and management of professional fund managers. So investors don't have to actually make their own decisions. Their investments are managed and monitored by a fund manager who will give them that expertise for a very small fee.
Thank you very much for joining us, Ms. Fernando.
Thank you.
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for more insights from our business community. You can also log on to efm.lk and lmd.lk/lmdtv for a visual experience of BizTalk.